everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Irene here and I'm so excited for today's video because since the holidays are around the corner now, I decided to make a video showing you how to create a magical French chic inspired Christmas treasure box for your partner. I mainly thought of this video for partners and there are ideas for both men and women and anyone in between. However, you can of course take these ideas and apply them to other loved ones in your life. The whole purpose of this box is to create a cozy, wonderful, almost like magical childhood Christmas feeling, awakening the inner child and the childlike joy inside the other person. You can take these ideas, of course, and add maybe a gift that you know that specific person would want. And since these ideas are for every budget and they're small or big ideas, you can sprinkle some of them in your box. A box filled with whimsical trinkets, cozy indulgences, and interesting items. And speaking of choosing really thoughtful personal gifts, I never actually considered shoes as Christmas gifts before. But once I found pairs that were genuinely comfortable and beautiful for me, I realized other people deserve the same comfort too and would be delighted to have them. So I'm really happy to partner again with VIVAIA for this video. They're my oldest sponsor and their shoes just fit perfectly into this whole old world French chic treasure box gifting theme. Something practical, elegant, and genuinely very useful. Because it's their Black Friday offer, you can use my code BFIrene, and if you buy one pair, you get 10% off, 2 pairs gives you 20%, and 3 is 25%, and 4 pairs is 30% off. So the more you're gifting, the more you save. And I picked a few of their newer styles to talk about on this video and I styled them. However, before I do that, I want to talk about one of my older pieces that is at least 3 years old. I don't even remember when I got them. The Melody Pro Black. I have also the beige ones and I've worn these since I was living in France. Now I live in Italy. I've worn them on the cobbled streets, in the rain, at work. I wore these every single day. Every single day I wore these to work because I had a uniform. And I washed them in the machine when this is not one of their machine washable models as far as I know. And nothing broke. They're still completely intact. They look new. They adapted to the shape of my feet and they're super comfortable. So I have nothing bad to say about them. They have never hurt my feet. They're soft and stylish as well. So their heels I wore for at least 8 hours a day for months. Now let's talk about the new shoes that they sent me, starting with my absolute most used and favorite for years, which is the Regina Pro. Ankle boots with architectural heels and a square toe. And I had these in full black years ago and I forgot them in France. And so when they said, hey, do you want new shoes? I'm like, hey, I don't have any shoes at all for this winter. I cannot live without these. I need another one. So I picked this one with the beige border. They are so comfortable, water repellent, flexible, soft, and they hold their shapes really well. They don't look like old socks after just a few wears. They hold their shape. And you know, I've worn these ones already so many times, even though I just received them. You can see from the bottom. And they're padded inside, really comfortable. I've ran in these, I've almost missed my train in these, so I've done all kinds of things. And this is a guaranteed good purchase. Next, I have the Ryan slip-ons, and these are the most comfortable Chelsea boots I've ever owned. They have very soft, cushiony insoles. I love the chocolate brown, espresso brown color, perfect for the fall season and the winter season. And I match this with my belt because I love this shade of brown. They are water repellent, of course, really flexible, super easy to style. I love this shade of brown with cream and green, as you can see, but it goes with most any color because it's a neutral. Next, I'll talk about the Samantha Walkers. These are elegant, simple, minimalist beige loafers. You know those outfits that you have the outfit and it's great and you don't know what shoes to pair the outfit with. These are usually what I grab in those situations. The whole idea of giving a gift is actually not the item itself, but the experience and the expression of thoughtfulness, right? That you made an effort, that you thought about this gift. So it's not so much about how much you spend, it's more about how much thought you put into it. And one of the ways you can really express that is by the way you make the package, right? Even if you're bad at, you know, packaging gifts, you can always find really good ways. Maybe you can use fabric and just tie it, but it's pretty even if it's messy. Maybe you can write a nice word or a doodle. In fact, I believe that any gift where there is not even a trace of a personal doodle or a handwritten little note, can be just Merry Christmas, is a wasted opportunity. For the papers, I usually buy them from Tiger or IKEA because they have the cutest ones that I know of. So for example, this one is from IKEA. They have other like golden ones. I try to go for either Christmassy colors or really neutral colors or gold. So for example, when it comes to neutral, I have this one from Tiger. It has little white hearts, but you could also go for just the plain brown paper, which I think is so charming, even if it's simple, as long as your package is beautiful. You could even just do a bare brown paper package and then fill it with drawings and writings, and even if it's ugly, it's personal, and that's what matters. Another one I got is this tartan one from Tiger, yeah, in this Christmassy color, but it's giving like Ralph Lauren Christmas. I don't know, like it's my tiny way of giving a nod to the current trends, I guess, because Ralph Lauren Christmas, if you didn't hear, is the trend of the year, which is basically just traditional Christmas, but I'm not gonna comment on that. Like, we've done a full circle, but we had to give it a name. Like, it's regular Christmas, guys. Come on. Anyways, another touch that I like to add is a little embellishment. So, a ribbon, velvet ribbon in red, burgundy, orange, like a deep burnt orange color though, not like a gold color, and green as well would be nice. I have this one from Tiger, but you can buy it anywhere. But if you can find not like the one I have, but a double-sided one, that is even more elegant. And you could also get a natural one like this. This is again from Tiger. And I also have these little tags that look like biscuits. I think they're so cute. And you can really put it all together by adding a little touch. So, for example, you could use, this one is fake for the tree, but I don't have them right now, but candy canes. And you can tuck a little candy cane in there with your note. That is so cute. You could add a little pine branch or a rosemary. You could add little dried oranges like I have here, or a pine cone. Anything that is Christmassy and pretty, you could totally go nuts. It's so easy and actually fun to do. You could of course go the extra mile and write a letter or a card for your loved one inside your gift box. For example, I really appreciate this, so I have displayed on my desk a poetry that is dedicated to me from my boyfriend, and I think that means a lot more than any giant gift ever could give. And another touch you could of course do is inside the box. You could also add these touches inside the box: pine cones, little confetti, orange slices, even dried flowers They're so pretty, they smell good, just go nuts, just sprinkle things in there, make it magic. You could buy, you know, a box of their favorite chocolate and sprinkle the little chocolates around. For example, I love Mon Chéri, which is this, it's from Ferrero, but I don't know why it has a French name. It's this little cherry ones with the beautiful packaging. So, and they're also vegan, accidentally. So you could sprinkle those kinds of things inside the box as well. Okay, now let's start with the ladies. So the first idea is a scarf from Sézane. They have these beautiful cotton scarves. I'm a vegan, so I don't use wool or silk, so I gravitate towards the cotton ones. So they are a small touch that you can tie on your handbag or around your neck. They're these little vintage things that you use to hold the scarf in place and that are also really pretty. So I think the combination of the two is such an elegant gift for the ladies, and I will link down below my favorite ones from Sézane. The next idea is a jewelry box. Maybe you can even fill it with other trinkets. I usually thrift them and I will show you some of my favorites. I don't always use them as jewelry boxes either. I have lots of these boxes all around the house where I throw, I don't know, lighters, keys, hairpins, anything that would just be cluttering the house otherwise. And my favorite jewelry box is actually this one. This is vintage Venetian glass. If you don't know, Venice is really famous for their glass making, and these are such a beautiful artisanal piece of history, and I really love it. And inside it is cushioned like that, and I really love this one. I also have a brass one behind me here, and it's full of sewing pins. This is hammered brass. You see. I also have this one from Sézane. It's velvet with embroidered stars. I bought this a few years ago, and this is a carry-on for jewelry, so it's really nice. For example, I have my watches in there. If you're on a tighter budget, you could also go for a glass candy or sugar box like this one. You can find them at any thrift store, online, anywhere, and they cost nothing. And they're super shiny and pretty and Christmassy. Okay, I think I'm speaking for most women out there when I say one gift that every woman dreams of receiving, that every woman wants to receive once in a lifetime, at least, is a vintage photo locket. I love these. These are so pretty and so romantic. They are usually gold vermeil. There's so many different styles out there, and you can put a photo inside. They used to do this thing called lover's eye necklaces, and they used to get a painting of their lover's eye and they would wear it as a necklace or a brooch. And I saw that on Etsy for a pretty high price, I think. I'm not sure, but I will still link it down below in case you're interested. Someone is actually custom making these, like these pendants with the lover's eye or portrait, and I think that's so cute. And you know, this used to be this secret language in history, talking about fashion history here, where people wouldn't have to reveal who their lover is, but they would be able to see their eye. And I think that is so unique, special, and romantic. The next idea is something handmade, something thoughtful, something lovely. So if you're able to draw, if you're able to make arts and crafts, if you're able to sew or crochet, that is a great thing. Otherwise, even just, again, a little doodle, a little something that you dedicate from a poetry book, whatever is fine. The thought is what counts, and the effort. Showing real effort is important, not just like I had to do this and so I'm doing it. And so, for example, I gifted this to my boyfriend. I made it. His name is Zorba because I gifted it to him and he was moving to Greece and we were gonna be long distance for like a month. And it's just a little bear, and I am not good at crocheting enough to have made his clothes because the instructions weren't clear. So he's naked, but that's okay because Greece is warm. And and his recent trip, he brought me this plushie from Vietnam. So it's cute, and plushies are such a cute gift. Just don't fill the whole room with plushies, but like one plushie that is sentimental is such a good gift for your lady. And if you're bad at everything, there is one more thing that counts for the handmade personalized category, and that is cookies and taralli, biscuits, whatever you can bake or make that is dry enough to be, you can even make a granola. You could make a hot chocolate mixture, a tea mixture, whatever, in little handmade sachets, and that counts. Like, you don't need skills, for real. Talking about tea and cozy drinks, another gift idea is if you could get maybe preferably a thrifted teapot or tea cups, or a nice box of tea that you buy. My favorite one is La Via del Tè, Il Sogno di Michelangelo, which means the dream of Michelangelo. Isn't it the most pretentious tea you ever heard? But it's as good as it sounds, for real. It's really good. It's from Florence. But you know, there are lots of teas out there. I'm no pro at tea, honestly. But I am a pro at thrifting, and I have thrifted this teapot that is kind of minimalist and like sleek. You know, not sleek, but you know, it's really wabi-sabi in a way. But there are so many ones. You can find porcelain ones, you can find more girly ones, you can find all kinds of style depending on the person that you're buying for. For example, I also thrifted these coffee cups a few years ago in France, and these are like really they're French, but they look very Italian to me. Like, I've never seen cups like this in Italy, but something about the shape just screams Italy to me. I don't know. They're called bistro coffee cups, and they're too small for cappuccino, too big for espresso, but they are good for macchiato. You could also get like thrifted gold spoons, like these ones that I got, and tie them with a nice bow like I did and gift them. They don't have to cost much at all. Like, if you search, you can find them for super cheap, because anyway, the gold amount that they put on these is really tiny. Something that I always love to add for any occasion, including Christmas, is always add one of these single-use kind of film cameras that you shoot and you give it to the laboratory. They develop your pictures and you're done with it. And these are so fun. They capture your memories in a way that digital cameras could never dream of. And it's just such a nice thing that you don't even have to care about it, because it's, you know, it's plastic. You don't have to be all precious with it. You can hand it to your friends, hand it to the people around, and you take the best, most candid picture. The most important thing is showing also that you know that person, you appreciate the details about that person, you know what they do, what they like, and give also at least one piece of a gift should be something about them. So not generic, not cute, but something really that speaks to them. For example, I love photography and videography. I love making memories, and I'm very crafty. So he gave to me last Christmas this photo album to ask me to be his girlfriend, and said that we could fill this with pictures of us together, because he saw that I was always with this thing in my hand, another one, not this specific one, but so I will get the pictures printed and put them in here and make a whole nice album. And I think that's such a sweet example. You can find all kinds of ideas similar to this. They could, maybe they have a hobby, maybe they have an interest or a collection. You could totally try to find something that they like. One trick that I think most people don't think about is a lot of us are on social media, and we don't only follow friends and news pages, we also follow pages that are related to our interests or that are brands we like. We put likes to things that we're interested in. So definitely you could go all Sherlock on your partner and find out what they're stalking online, and just find out something about what they like, what they're wanting. Another additional and charming thing that can also become a kind of instant activity when they open the gift is a mini puzzle. So I'm talking about these kinds of puzzles with 100 pieces inside, and they take about half an hour to make, and you end up with a cute picture this size, and it's just so fun. You could even make it together, and it's just a little side gift that makes the whole thing that much cozier. And I love making puzzles during the fall and winter, especially Christmas time. I love playing board games and making puzzles with family and friends. So I thought it was a good idea, unless your partner hates puzzles, which is a red flag. I love this French brand called Thrifted. This is not sponsored, I just love their products, so I will link it down below. Another addition that you could put to the box, which I think is a must, like you need to add either cute cozy socks that are still pretty, a cozy blanket, a cozy sweater, something like that, to add that layer of warmth and coziness to the Christmas day. And it's such an essential to me. You could even add mittens, gloves, anything, but that has to be kind of magical looking, pretty looking. Also, pajamas are a great idea. Pajamas are always a good idea, as long as they're nice pajamas. For example, I love the ones from VIVAIA, which is a French brand, and I'm sure there are so many other brands out there. I will link my favorite ones down below as always. I also love little trinkets. So for example, I have this vintage pocket watch that made me think of this idea that you could use it as a bag charm, you could use it as a keychain, you could even hang it on your Christmas tree or on the handle of a cabinet in your house with a pretty bow. Another idea is of course a hair accessory. For example, I love these ones from Sézane. Another idea could be a little mirror, maybe a compact mirror or a handheld mirror or a vanity mirror. These are so beautiful, especially if vintage. Honestly, nothing beats the vintage ones. I have this one, and there are just so many. For example, I also love these pivoting ones. They're so common on vintage websites, Vinted, etc. They're so pretty, pivoting mirrors, and it makes you feel like a princess. Another idea is donating to a cause. For example, last August, on the birthday of my partner, I donated to his favorite vegan sanctuary. And I think that this shows that you care about their causes. Of course I do, because I'm also vegan. And that you take interest in them and in what they like, what they support. Another very cute idea, and something that is also an activity to do together ideally, is Lego flowers. Have you ever heard of these? They're adorable. Lego flowers, honestly, so cute and so thoughtful. And of course, I think something super sweet to put in a box is also, aside from the candies and everything, a mini Pandoro or a mini Panettone that you can put. I don't know if you have access to that, but here they sell these everywhere, these mini versions of these beloved Italian desserts for the Christmas time, and they're so cute and yummy. Another idea is tickets to something. So tickets to something you know they like, maybe a concert, a game, a show. For example, you could get something that I always wanted to see is the Nutcracker live. Of course, this needs to be done months before, so you need to prepare. If you haven't already, maybe next year, unless it's something really near the theater, opera, whatever, because you know, ballet, opera and theater is extra magical since it's really Christmassy and old world, and we're trying to recreate that old world charm, aren't we? And so that's why it's so cute. You could even print fake tickets. You can download them on Canva, some pre-made tickets that look magical, print them and put them in a little envelope so that it's nice to open. Another thing that I love is to print a favorite picture in a nice frame and put it there. For example, you could find a lovely vintage frame, or I like the ones from Zara Home, you could do that. Another idea is jewelry. Last year I got my boyfriend this bracelet with a silver ring in the middle that has a mantra in Sanskrit and the same mantra in English on the other side, and since he loves Buddhism, he never ever takes this off. Another idea is vintage collector's items. For example, if he's into Star Wars, you could gift him Star Wars Legos. You could gift him some old comic books. Games are a great idea. For example, in October, I got this game, which is basically you're Sherlock Holmes and you're solving a case. You can play this alone or with friends or with a partner. Another idea is perfume for the gentlemen and the ladies, but especially perfume can look like such a non-personal gift, so just make sure that that person will be able to appreciate this. And if not, if you still want to gift a perfume, make sure it's not the only gift, because if someone doesn't really care, then that seems really careless for a gift. But if they like it, or if they're neutral about it and it's not the only gift in the box, then that can work really well. And when it comes to perfume, make sure that the one you pick is vegan and cruelty free, so we don't cause unnecessary harm to animals. I do not promote animal cruelty on this channel. And something, confirm in the comments if I'm right, but every person, especially guys that I've met, is obsessed with collecting notebooks. Like, they never even use it all the time, but they just have to have it. And so the notebook craze, you could get one of those tiny notebooks that they could carry with them everywhere, one of those nicer ones. Another idea is a vintage letter holder or a vintage desk organizer. There are so many styles out there. Literally, you could find a lot of versions. Talking about desk organization, you could, of course, for anyone, get a nice vase or a little pencil holder for the desk, like the one I have here. It is clay, and I have all of my crochet hooks and pens in here, and I love it. It's so rustic and cute with the frilly edges. If your partner is a reader, another lovely idea could be not only getting them books, but also to create a whole package of things. So you can find books, even vintage ones, with pretty covers for dirt cheap, absolutely dirt cheap. Like, I bought 10 bound books with amazing covers for €1. For €1, guys. So you have no excuses. And I also thrifted a magazine holder that I love with turned wood and stuff. So I will show you exactly what I did. This is something I did for myself, but you could totally gift it to a person who loves reading. So this is what I did. This is the magazine holder that I thrifted. And then I draped a linen cozy blanket over it, and I keep this on the floor, and then all of my books stacked in here. I think this whole thing as a set is such a cozy, beautiful gift with all of their wish list books in there. That is so cool for a reader. So these are all of my ideas for this year, and I really hope you enjoyed this video and got some inspiration. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and especially if there is something I didn't think about that is your idea, please write them in the comments, because I'm so curious. Here, the whole point is to create something that feels personal and that will awaken childlike delight and wonder. And let's hope that these ideas can come close to creating that. Thank you so much for watching if you've come to this point, and see you in the next video. Happy, Merry future Christmas. Bye!